Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. We are still recovering from the shock and trauma of the Delhi blasts. The potential catastrophic consequences that could have resulted had the plan worked sends shiver down our spines. While the investigating and the intelligence agencies are digging deep with success and joining the dots, after drawing an initial flag for allowing or for not being able to contain the inflow of such huge quantity of explosive ingredients into the capital area, a new pattern of terrorism surfaced in India with which we were not very familiar: the white collar terrorism, an act of terror committed by the learned and the intellectuals by transforming their learnings and wisdom to acts of destruction, especially when it comes to the otherwise educated and socially functional doctors who are trained to protect life, who are treated as quasi-divines, become assailants. It cannot be treated as an ordinary transition of the human mind. In this video, I would try to analyze the 5 most probable psychological drivers which could turn saviors of lives to destroyers and killers. Since this is a sensitive and serious topic, I would urge you to stay on till the end and feel free to share your thoughts and comments in the comment box. Now, coming to the 5 most psychologically plausible reasons why otherwise educated and socially functional doctors could become violent assailants in a revenge-driven terror plot. These are based on what behavioral science, forensic psychology, and radicalization research tell us about how normal professionals can turn into perpetrators. Let us look at the 5 most probable psychological drivers. The first one: grievance-based identity fusion. That is, my suffering is equal to my group's suffering. How does it work out? Let us try and understand. Highly educated individuals are not immune to identity-based grievance. They are quite susceptible to it. Doctors who feel emotionally fused with a group, religious, ideological, or political, tend to interpret attacks on the group as attacks on themselves. This creates a heightened sense of injustice and a personal emotional reaction to events that have nothing to do with them directly. And it also creates a feeling that revenge is a legitimate emotional response. When identity becomes the core of self-worth, revenge becomes self-preservation. I think it has a very strong relation with what the intelligence agencies are discovering about the doctors who have been taken into custody. The second driving factor: moral disengagement and cognitive reframing. How does this work? Professionals who turn violent often use psychological escape hatches to bypass their own moral code. Now, doctors in particular are trained to protect life. So, they must neutralize that internal conflict. And how do they do it? This is not an easy task. But they do it. And they do so by dehumanizing the perceived enemy. They do so by moral justification, like this is for a greater cause. Diffusion of responsibility. My group or my leader decided this, and I'm here to carry out the orders. I'm here to execute. That's it. And then, of course, the euphemistic language, like sacrifice, retaliation, holy duty, and so on. Once moral disengagement sets in, violence stops feeling like a contradiction. Coming to the third one, which is about personal insecurity and a need for significance. Now, this is highly relevant to very demanding professions like medicine and the struggles which these individuals often have to deal with silently. Now, they undergo these factors, which could be imposter syndrome, a sense of inadequacy, or loneliness, or identity confusion, and then desire for recognition or purpose. Now, all these are very potent factors, and it does have a very deep impact in the mind of demanding professionals, because they're very conscious about their status, they're very particular about their survival. And just see how the extremist organizations exploit this. It's really a pity that how these professionals give themselves away to the extremist organizations, and how are they being exploited is these organizations offer a mission to them. They offer a heroic narrative, a sense of belonging, and then, of course, an elevated identity. You are a warrior, you are a defender of faith, of blah blah, whatnot. And then, of course, you are a martyr for a religious cause, for your religion, for your people, for your principles, your ideologies. So you are a martyr. In psychological terms, this is called the quest for significance, a powerful motivator behind radical violence. The fourth one is susceptibility to charismatic influence and group dynamics. Now, here what happens is that even intelligent people underestimate how powerful group influence can be. They fail to fathom the influence of the group in their personality, in their thought process. Doctors working together in the same institution, sharing backgrounds or grievances, can create a micro ecosystem of reinforcement. And how it is done? One dominant radical voice becomes a moral authority. Group conformity pressures silence doubts. Incremental commitment, that is, small tasks leading to bigger risks, leading to full involvement, and so on. And then, of course, the emotional contagion, that is anger, fear, victimhood, and all this spreads socially. And once the group's emotional climate turns revenge-oriented, individuals follow. Because by then, they have closed their reasoning, their rationale doesn't work. And they often believe they're making an independent choice, which is definitely not correct. They are a victim of group dynamics. And the fifth, and perhaps the most important one, is the psychological compensation through ideology, or which is the dual life syndrome. Now, this is very sad that professionals involved in extremism, they often live dual lives. Competent, respected in public, but psychologically split internally. Don't think it's an easy thing for them to live with. And what does this duality create? It creates a sense of tension or emptiness, a craving for psychological coherence, and attraction to strong black and white ideological frameworks. And to meet all of these, what do the radical ideology offer? They offer certainty. They offer a simple moral world. What I'm preaching, what I'm practicing is the best. A sense of control, that I control the rest, because I'm morally at a very higher pedestal. And then, of course, emotional validation for anger or humiliation. Revenge thus becomes a psychologically satisfying outlet that revolves internal contradictions. So friends, we have seen these 5 very dominant drivers, psychological drivers, which transforms these qualified and highly educated professionals who are held at such high esteem, particularly the doctors of our society. So if we summarize, let us understand this, that these doctors likely did not act because of one reason, but they acted because of a combination of all the reasons which we have said above. And if we summarize them quickly, just to give you a short brief on this again, it is identity grievance, moral disengagement, group radicalization dynamics, personal psychological vulnerabilities, and revenge fulfilling a need for emotional significance. This blend is what typically transforms educated and functional individuals. In this case, unfortunately, the doctors of our country, whom we hold with such high esteem, into violent actors. Well, having understood this, let us now try and see what are we trying to do. Friends, are we trying to arrest the Hydra? Are we trying to catch the Hydra by its head and ensure that once its one head is severed, it doesn't get the opportunity to regenerate 2 heads in its place? In Greek mythology, who killed the Hydra? None other than Hercules. Do we have a Hercules amongst us? Who is that Hercules? I'm sure it's not one single individual. Maybe it's an institution. It's an organization. It's a group of people who will come together, put all their mind and strength and body together, and let us hope that the Hydra, which has spread like poison in our society, which is killing our society day in and day out, is finally eliminated, and Hercules of our country stands victorious. Thank you for being with me. If you have liked this, please do like and share. Subscribe to my channel if you like the contents, and don't forget to press the bell icon for regular updates. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay blessed.